All right, we're recording. PKN episode 227. Kyle has introduced us to Raft, and he has a raft that I think is pretty nice.
First of all, this game is a fucking blast. I did not think it would be half as much fun as it is. Like, I'm loving it.
So here's the thing. I was a Minecraft guy, right? And Minecraft got this reputation as being cringy and lame. It was undeserved. Minecraft is Raft times 10. Like, there are things people build in Minecraft. The engineering, I can't understand it. And I did it professionally. You know, like, it was my job to understand it. It was next level. And I'm talking about Redstone, if people know Minecraft. The things that the cannons people build. If you don't know what modern cannons look like, you don't understand what can be done with this thing. And the craftable items in Raft, does it top out at like 60, 100 or something?
Probably so. It's pretty basic stuff, like 2 or 3, like maybe 30 items and 2 tiers of a few items. So
the
yeah,
thing with this game
very
that like
simple. It's
pulled
early
me
access.
in more than Minecraft, because I've only played Minecraft once, like 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I was like, this. I didn't give it a fair shake, to be fair. But my youngest brother played it a ton, so I saw it. With this, like, I'd see him playing, and like the creepers would come up and like try and blow up on you or whoever the bad guy is in that game. In this, it sounds really dumb, but I genuinely get my heart starts beating quickly, and I get anxious. Like, when I fall in the water, like my feet will be pushing off the ground in real life because I'm trying to get myself up, because like it's just a silly little game, but like in real life I'm kind of afraid of the ocean like that, and so I'm like, come on, get back up on the fucking raft, get on the raft. Like, it's, even though it's silly, it feels high stakes to me.
It has an updated aesthetic, right? Which is cool.
Yeah.
But and I like Raft. Don't get me wrong. I like, the highest compliment I can pay to a game is I kind of wish I was playing it right now, right? Like that you know, if you have that kind of pull towards a game, then that game is pretty good. I like Raft. I don't know, but every time I see it though, I still think they shouldn't shit on Minecraft 2 so hard. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I liked how quickly we went from beginner to like having roles when we played in the hangout, where like we kind of fiddle fucked around and like, oh, you need to get this, that, and the other thing done. But then after like 20 minutes, I felt like we were a well-oiled machine of like Woody was the chef preparing the fish, making sure everybody's got water and food. I had built a farm. Kyle was navigating and making sure he was driving us correctly towards all the barrels and islands, which I tried to play by myself, and I have missed every island so far. Like, I'll be like, come on. Like, I built the big angled things and I'm missing them.
So if you're not familiar with Raft is an early access PC game where you start out on 4 tiles of Raft. You're clinging on to life, and all you have is a hook, and you throw this hook to acquire loot, which in the form of sticks and plastic and palm leaves, and you basically end up being a self-sufficient little floating island all on your own by the time you build all the things that you could build. And there is an end game. We beat it the first night, my friends and I. It took about 12 hours straight, I'm going to say. So the goal of the game is to build, and keep in mind it is early access, this is a $16 game. The goal is to build 3 like radio towers and a control box and a battery, and you set that up the way it's supposed to be set up, and then you get a blip on the radar, and we were all like, what's on the other end? And we're so psyched because it says Utopia is on the other end, so we're picturing just the land of milk and honey, right? We've been out on the waves for 10 or 11 hours.
Expectations are high.
It's 5 a.m. We're all ready to quit, but Utopia is just over the next wave. So we're paddling and we got our sails aloft, and it's basically like an oil platform thing with a little bit of loot on it, and there's a backstory to why you're on a raft. Like I don't know if you ever considered how did I get on this raft?
it's funny, I never thought of that, but you'd think I would have.
Yeah.
I never considered it.
You get up to the very top of Utopia, and there are a bunch of like a serial killer would have all those newspaper clippings arranged. And
Don't
like
tell me too much. I gotta.
Well then I'll just stop.
Yeah.
Wait, but this isn't the real end game. This is the pre-release end game.
Well, who knows?
Well, I can't get too much. There's not much more. So once you've found that, Then if you set the radar up again, there'll be another blip, and that blip is a big island. And it'll keep repeating, and you'll find bigger and bigger islands, and they're not the standard island you find in the game is pitiful. Like it's enough to like hop around and chop down 6 trees, and that's that. But there are very large islands on the seas if you use your radar, and they take a couple minutes for a few people to explore. There are caves on them with mushrooms, and there's birds that'll drop rocks on you, and loot chests and that sort of thing.
How many people were you playing with in the game where you finished?
Probably maybe 4 of us. Probably average 3 because people were getting on and off and stuff like that. One guy stuck around for 8 hours, and then he had to go to bed. And then we found Utopia, and the next day we were like, "Oh, you missed it. We beat the game," and he was pretty bummed out.
What tricks have you figured out so far that like when we were all playing together you didn't know? Have you figured something out like always go for the mangoes because they do this that, or never grow radishes, it's a waste? Like little tips and tricks, anything?
Honestly, it's like anything else. Like once you get like that snowball rolling, you don't really worry about food. Like food and water is not a concern anymore at all. Like I've got two of the biggest grills set up, and next to them are 2 of the biggest water purification things. And there's maybe 10 or 11 chests.
Are there more than 2 levels of water purification?
Yeah, no, 2.
Okay.
How much better is the one that you get second? And when we're running around like filling up cups.
Dude, the next one is so much better because the big thing is it doesn't use wood, right? So just manning the wood is a bit of a pain in the butt. Plus, it consumes resources that you could be using for collection nets or something like that. The other thing that's nice is how you put 1 cup in, you put like I don't know 4 or 6 cups in, so you're kind of set for a while. And if the next bonehead drinks without filling it, you can still drink and then just fill it all the way,
and having a water bottle over the cup is very nice.
What is that?
I don't know
like
if you made
servings.
It's like a 2 liter. It's like a 20 ounce or a 2 liter bottle or something, and he can take like 5 drinks out of it at a time. So I've got a palm tree farm that you can probably see in that little picture. If I were running back and forth and just putting 1 cup of water on each palm tree, it would be excruciating. But I can run and do like 5 at a time, like fill.
Is the palm tree only useful for getting wood?
It's wood, palm leaves, coconut, and palm seeds. But I prefer it over the mangoes because food's not a concern and water's not a concern. So I want the wood and the leaves, not really food.
In my world, wood's not a concern because basically all we ever do is just fly downwind. And it seems like we have more resources, with the exception of island ones. I want to go to islands and get seaweed, and scrap. But everything else I just find in the water.
I have a chest with maybe 100 of the iron ingots in it, and like 50 copper ingots, and like all the seaweed and seaweed goo you could want.
Mistakes like I'll get 20 scrap, and it's like, all right, well let's start making 80 nails, and then I need to build like a scuba gear or something. I'm like, that takes scrap.
Yeah, I've done that too. Where I'll be like, I may as well make 65 ropes out of all these palm leaves. And then I was trying to make like those, that thing you built the first night, Kyle, so we could like jump up in an angling fashion towards the island. I'm like, well, fuck.
It's like a
I guess
roof,
I didn't. I needed those.
My boat's so big that it collects resources on a monumental scale.
Yes. Yeah.
It's absurd.
So, are you to the point that you're bored yet? Like, is it so big and so almost autonomous that it's like, I need to start over because there's nothing more for me to do?
Yeah, I'm more of a manager than a survivor now. And so like at this point, I'll tell you something that was kind of funny. So you get attacked by sharks on a regular basis, and they gnaw at the boat, and they start trying to twist it apart, and they'll take an entire tile of your boat away, which is just a minor annoyance unless they take a good tile. Some tiles are more expensive than others, obviously. And around the perimeter of my boat, I have these capture nets, which are a little resource intensive. I think I've got 200 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
And probably 175, something like that. I think my boat's like 50 wide. It's like a rectangle. But in any case, a shark came into the center of the boat, ate a chest.
Oh, no.
That sucks.
You got to keep in mind, this boat is probably 50 tiles by like 100 tiles or something. There's a huge amount of tiles there. Any one of them could have been attacked. He picked the one that had a chest full of goodies in it. And I come back to fill the chests. And I'm like, there's just a hole in the fucking deck. And the chest is gone. And it's clear that the chest has been taken because there's a whole line of chests. And in the middle, there's a hole.
He made a fool of you.
I'm playing with Colin, and I'm envying Kyle's boat, but it's really not an option, right? Because I can either rule this thing with an iron fist and get the boat I want, which is not the ideal experience, right? Or just be like, oh yeah, so he builds his boarding ramps in a zigzag. Well, okay, I guess that's how we do it.
That's what we're doing it now.
So
if you want to play with me, you can play anytime. I wish there was a way that you could just like save my world and then it'd be yours anytime you want. But the way it works is like I got to be online and playing for anyone to play on my boat. I'd be happy to make a new boat. You know, it doesn't take that long when you know what's up.
What's all this green stuff? Is that just like a carpet area in your boat or grass?
you see the yellow carpet? The second
Is
floor?
that yellow?
It's
Yellow
an
carpet?
elevated platform with a yellow carpet.
Yes, that's the sort of the helm.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a raised platform. Now I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the sails up there, and there's an egg farm up there, and just to the left of the sail, that's the computer monitor, and then you can kind of make out three radar or antennas, three radar antennas that you use to navigate. At this point, it's a little bit different. Like if you look at that black tower on the top right, there's an identical one that's white on the left corner now. And the palm trees are covering up like a lot of the cooler stuff. I've got like a smelting farm with 3 smelters on the left behind the palm trees, and then you can kind of make out my chest.
What is the rim? There's a straight line of dark things in the center.
Those are shark heads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've got a shark head over there on each of the towers that I've built.
It's a nice boat. I had the idea that I would be a manager. That Colin in Minecraft, he was a grinder, right? So if you needed a wall built 255 tiles tall and 1,000 tiles wide, he would just go at it. People liked having him in their faction because he would just do this stuff forever. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. I've got Colin. He's going to be a farmer, smelter, whatever. What he actually likes doing is going swimming for shit. We don't even need that role has been filled by collection nets. You've been put out of a job by automation, Colin. And he doesn't have, how so people don't know there's a sail on your raft and the raft travels in that direction. So it's nice to swim out in front of the raft. If you swim to the side of the raft, then it can kind of leave you behind. If you swim behind the raft, you can barely swim back to it. So he hasn't quite told that out yet. And he's just like, Dad, I'm a little lost.
Yeah.
Binoculars are so worthless. They don't do anything.
They don't do anything. They're resource intensive. They're expensive.
I spent a lot of time building these damn binoculars, and they are exactly like putting 2 toilet paper rolls on your eyes.
You could put on glasses and it would be like if you put on glasses in real life to just make your screen a little bit bigger. Like if you put on some 1.5 magnification and just looked at your screen, you get the same benefit.
I disagree, Kyle. I think it's exactly the same with the side of it blacked out. It's like looking through
like
a scope
parallax
with no magnification.
Yeah, it's fucking lame.
So lame.
I'll tell you. So we were playing, and there were 4 of us playing, and I think it was me, Scamillionaire, the guy from our Hangouts, the guy from Washington, who's like a young guy who does well on Tinder and stuff, Mitty, and my friend Urban. And the 4 of us are playing, and we've been going for maybe 6 hours straight or something like that. And I'm like, all right, I've been running this. I've been managing heavily, because I had some experience. I knew what was up. And I finally get to a place where I'm like, all right, we're in a good place now. I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to go take a piss. I got to take a break for just a minute. I'm going to go make a drink. I'm going to take a piss. I get up, and I'm not gone. I'm gone long enough to piss and pour a drink. That's how long I'm gone. There's no dilly-dallying. The bathroom is right there. I come back. I get up out of the bed. I'm lying on a bed. I figured I'd get myself out of the way. I look, and there's only Mitty. And I go, but then I look up in the Discord app, and we're all still there. We're all still. I'm like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? And they go, he left us. He left us. He left us. And I'm like, Mitty, what the fuck do you? Why did you leave him? He's like, it's not my fault. They jumped off, and then they were gone. And I'm just, what the fuck do you mean they were gone? Why didn't you turn the sail? Why didn't you paddle? Why didn't you They're gone. And they're both like, we had so much shit on us. We lost everything. So they respawn and they literally have nothing.
We
so
have
of course,
everything when we respawn. There's like no penalty for death. I don't know what the
Yeah,
difference
if you set it to easy, that's how it is.
Oh, we play on easy.
yeah, no, we're playing on normal or maybe hard. I probably just normal. You lose it. So there's two options when you die. When a shark gets you or you drown, there's someone rescue me or there's reset and respawn. We usually just do the rescue thing because we usually die around islands mining and somebody will jump in. They'll throw you over their shoulder, get you back to the boat, throw you on a hammock, and you'll sort of respawn and you're good to go in like a second. These two respawn and they don't even have a cup. All they have is the throwy thing. They don't have a spear. They don't have a fishing rod. They don't have a single tile. And so I start I've got everything. So I start making stuff for them. I'm like, all right, well, here's a cup. Here's a cup. We have picked on Mitty a little bit too much, apparently, for letting us down. So he starts snatching up the things I'm making for him and throwing it overboard.
You guys are so dysfunctional.
I look over and I'm like, did you get that cup? And he's like, no, Mitty took it. And I'm like, Mitty, what'd you do with their cup? And he's muted us by this point. I just see him go to the edge of the boat, like the end of the boat, and look into the rear and just go,
a trail of shit.
He's throwing their shit away. He's a fishing rod, a cup, a hook. Like it's just flying out of his inventory. He's throwing away all the shit that I'm trying to give him to keep us alive a little longer.
It's fun. It's fun. I want to find how do you? I've made circuit boards, but nothing beyond that. Like radio's not on my build list. How'd you get it? Radar, radio.
You have to get a blueprint, right?
Oh, is it? Where did?
Because I remember the very first night we played, I got the radio tower blueprint right away, and I didn't know what to do with it.
The blueprints seemed kind of worthless to me, maybe. But basically, like the ingredients are. You need to research everything to make sure you've researched like copper ingots, iron ingots, like all of that stuff.
I've made batteries.
The goo, yeah, you'll need a battery or two, and then eventually you have the option to craft those things. I don't know, like once you've got everything researched, then you have the option to craft the. I don't know what it's called, but it's a little computer box, a monitor, like a radar monitoring screen, and the antenna, and then it'll give you instructions for how to assemble it. You basically go
busy when I'm playing. So when we played, is the first time I ever played, Kyle was on the team, and Kyle was in charge of sailing, paddling, and he was kind of in charge of getting us to islands, right? And all of that in covers, and he taught us stuff too. So he built these island boarding ramps, and he'd handle the sailing, and he'd paddle, and he just did a lot, anchoring. When you do all that by yourself, plus you're in charge of like keeping him fed, keeping him in water, teaching him. I'm very busy when I play this game. All I have is an ADD young child out swimming for shit. Like he's more of a responsibility. It's like parenting in game.
You mean like he's more of a liability on there as you're like trying to get something done and you're like, where are you, Colin? I'm just swimming looking for sharks. It's like, you're looking for sharks now?
It's not far from the truth, and it gets him so it's hard to keep an eye on him all the time. So he'll just be like, ah! I'm like, what now? What now? And he's like, oh, the shark is biting me. Can you stop the boat? I'm like, gladly, but talk to me. I didn't even know you weren't on the raft.
Dude, I've played horror games before. I remember I played that one that Suzuki Kawasaki or whatever Asian guy like makes all those scary games like a couple years ago. Like, where you're walking through the hallway and it's like the infinite puzzle thing. It was really big at the time. I don't remember. PT it was called, I think. Playable trailer for a game that never came out, and it was really scary. This is spooking me more than that. Because the way you get attacked by the shark, you don't see it coming, and I don't know what it is. Getting attacked underwater, even in a game, is way more panic-inducing. Where you're trying, and for some reason, like sometimes hitting spacebar next to the raft, you jump out like a fish, and you like, woo, easily land on the raft. And other times, I feel like you hit it over and over and over, and your guy just like barely kicks up as the shark's nipping at him.
Kyle, I noticed you took your raft picture in still water. Are you getting a fair amount of waves over the raft when it gets rough out?
Oh, yeah, to the point where you'll go underwater.
Oh, I've been swept off the raft.
That happened in my personal game, but I don't think you can get swept off because I was like walking out on one of my arms, and you're right, I was like totally underwater, but I was still able to walk.
That's it. But see, Kyle doesn't have any sea level arms. I will build an arm out,
and
then fill it with like collection nets as part of the strategy. So, and you can get swept off an arm, I'm pretty sure. I think it's happened. It could just have been confused underwater, but I think you can get swept off.
I've never been swept off or moved by the waves, but it can get a little bit annoying that the waves just sweep right over your boat, and it's something. It's some kind of a clipping issue. That's an issue with the world. I guess what it probably is when the raft gets to be a certain size, the water is maybe spherical rather than flat because it's maybe that's how the physics of the game work, and so there's a peak in the center of your boat that gets really deep underwater. I'm probably going to trim my boat backwards. I'm weighing the options between starting a whole new raft or trimming mine back. But the thing
Just
about
start a whole new raft and save this one.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
Back to it.
It's hard to say Minecraft made a mistake because of its dumb aesthetic when it's one of the most popular games to have ever existed. It's like top 3, I think, in terms of sales.
I don't doubt it.
The ones that are bigger, older, like Super Mario Brothers or stuff. But, man, like I know you guys might have given Minecraft more of a shot if it looked as good as Raft.
Yeah. The thing I don't like about Minecraft is the aesthetic, the square boxiness of it.
The dumb creepers. It's hard to get like when a shark is after you and it looks like Jaws. And usually
it's
stab
scary.
the shark a time or two, so it's like bloody scars on it and it's chomping you down. And you've got a real problem and you don't want to die. You really don't want that. It's an issue. When some like stupid looking skeleton is firing dumb arrows and the audio behind it is like I don't know how to describe a gay plink, but there it is.
Plank.
You know,
Plank.
yeah. And it's like, man, obviously they did great. Maybe they shouldn't have changed a thing. He's a billionaire, but they just missed the older demo.
Yeah,
It almost is better for me that this is way simpler than Minecraft. Like that was another thing with Minecraft is like I always assumed there was so much stuff to learn to do. And I was like, I'm not interested enough to put in the time.
I'll tell you what it is.
This, I feel like you can hop in and just play a game without knowing hardly anything.
And it's based around. All right, I get that Minecraft had like bows and swords and stuff, and we're all familiar with that. But we're not really familiar with diamond swords and that sort of thing. So, but this is all based. Like, if I tell you, do you want the little waterification purifier or the big one? You know the answer right away. You don't need any end-game experience. Like everything was kind of based in the real world to some extent. And I like survival
that way. Like you have a stone spear and a metal spear, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a stainless spear, coming forward.
Perhaps
and, like the equivalent of diamond and iron.
There's an update coming that'll add animals. You're gonna have a few more animal types. At this point, like you said, like I try to find more ways to make the game interesting. So currently, that's like interior designing or exterior designing. I'm getting those towers up and painting them. Getting the paint is a grind. I have a flower farm now. I have I have a couple of dye mills that I'm continuously filling with flowers and grinding them up, and then I'm planting the seeds that they produce, and it's a never-ending process of getting enough paint.
Why is one of your towers white and the other two are brown?
One's white, one's black, and the other hasn't been painted yet. The others, they're all sort of
painted.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a different material for some reason.
That is a lot of paint. Let me tell you, that is hours and hours of flower grinding at work. At work, you're seeing there, and the reason for that, at first, the reason was I had a lot of white paint and a lot of black paint. All right, but not a huge amount of either. But then I started thinking, we can never tell direction on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
If you spot an island, you just got to be like to my left because there's no compass. So I thought, what if there was a white corner and a black corner? We'll make Mitty stay on the black corner, of course, and then the rest of us like, no. But you'll be able to say, island on the white side of the boat or the black side of the boat, and I'm probably gonna paint the other towers like two alternating colors, like yellow or blue or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll look terrible.
It could be the black and blue or the black and white.
Well, this way you can just say on the palm side of the boat, on the brown side, the black side, or the white side.
Issue with that though, the tower idea is better. He might have to remove some palms to put that tower there.
Those palms are going to go between the towers that are on the others that are already built over there. All those palms are getting moved. That's the plan for those.
Can you move collection nets?
Yes, at hold X, they'll just remove. They'll be in your inventory.
Some things you hold X, you destroy them.
They fall apart into bits, and it's not as many bits as you started with. I like my raft, but I'm certainly not. Wouldn't say that it's a great raft. I've watched some YouTube videos, and you know how it goes. Like I'm sure you've built something in
someone's gonna
Minecraft.
do something
I'm sure
insane.
you've built something in Minecraft and been like, I'm the best there is. Let me go online and see what the competition. Holy shit! You built the Never Never Land? Is that Captain Hook animated with brimstone?
Why does your raft look like the Starship Enterprise? That's an option?
It is an option. People have built things like that. I saw one that's an aircraft carrier, and there's like planes built on it. You know, they're shitty planes,
They
but
give you like,
still.
so people who don't know, if you're Minecraft, you're familiar with this. There'll be like a little roof, a thatched roof, so now you can have a green one. You can have one that's a triangle shape, and you can put them on angles. And then with that basic concept, suddenly someone's building the Mona Lisa, and you're like, wait, what? Oh my God! You're like, I built Kyle's raft is awesome. He went with a square, right? Someone else is building an aircraft carrier with planes on it, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around like the planes, like how they built a plane-like thing.
Yeah, they were silly. You know, they didn't look great, but you were like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be a plane.
They look
I
better
saw
when
someone.
the scale goes up. Sorry, you're cutting off, but
Wow.
go. I'll stop.
People will build like an entire community essentially. Like it looks like there's a park. There's a bunch. They'll build tinier rafts that are supposedly like parked, like a bunch of people have gathered together. So and they vary up the make believe rafts that like make believe people are supposedly living and fishing on. So like one of them super simple, right, with just a radar dish on top, and it's like 2 levels and really tiny and cramped together, but has all the amenities. And then one of them is like a big yacht, and like it's all one raft. They've just built some like components of one raft to make it appear like it's an island. I've seen people build it around an island and incorporate the island into their raft. Like the center of their raft is
So
an
are they
island.
just totally stuck then around an island?
Yeah.
Imagine this game, but everyone was in the same world, so you could like float around and attack each other. And then there was a mechanic where suddenly you're building cannons and stuff. And when
That'd
you
be cool.
attack me, you get my stuff and I lose it. And you have one of the more popular game modes on WoodyCraft.
Yeah, man,
I like
that's
that.
what we're hoping for.
I'm watching the aircraft carrier one right now, just skipping around in it. That's enormous.
Can you link it?
Real
Yeah.
big.
Good people.
Mine's so big at this point. That's the other thing I was going to say. Mine's so big at this point. I really don't get very many frames per second, and that's annoying. Like when I build now, it goes down to 2 frames per second. If I rapid fire build, if I'm like like running, I lose all frames, like 7. And the game has a memory leak issue, where
What's that mean?
The longer you play, I don't know what it technically means, but what it means for me is that the longer I play, the lower my performance gets, and I have to basically back out of the main menu and jump back in to resolve that issue. On a technical side, I don't know exactly what causes a memory leak.
Is that my cue? It's basically,
No, I'm just saying.
When you write to some piece of memory, you kind of allocate it, and when you are done with that, you deallocate it. You say, I'm not using this memory anymore. And sometimes people fail to deallocate certain portions of memory. So it just, everything I've ever talked about is still in active memory. We're not using it. We're not talking about it. It should be done. I forgot about it, but the computer's still tracking it. So we grab new memory, but we don't let go of it. And it just keeps going and going.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that aircraft carrier is cool. I hadn't seen that one in particular. This is from... Yeah, I don't know this YouTuber either. I watch a guy called Blitz. Blitz, apparently, like the game was in its like heyday, I guess, like 6 months ago, forever ago.
Was? I didn't realize we were so far behind the times.
That's when it first came out, was in July, and so his videos were getting like really good views, like 250,000 to 1 million views each.
He's zooming his binoculars.
Oh, this guy isn't even okay. He's playing
Like
whatever game mode.
1650.
He's playing whatever game mode it is where sharks don't come around and you have infinite resources.
See, that's lame. So there's a game mode called Creative, where all you have to worry about is feeding, and I think you have to feed yourself and water yourself. But
No, you don't. He's been totally full the whole time.
Okay. I don't remember what you do have to worry about. It was something I thought. In any case, you get infinite resources, so you can just go to town and build and build and build. I don't like that because it doesn't feel like I've done anything. I want to go out and acquire my resources and then put them to work. Like
Yeah, and if you're not staving off the shark attacks, like then what are you building this for?
Dude, Minecraft
You know?
has that too, right? So WoodyCraft had one of the most popular creative servers in the world. And the shit. So it starts off, the creative server is an artistry thing, right? You're just showing your artistry. And then it turned into this weird role-playing thing where people would be pets and sisters and family. And then, like,
Hell yeah.
dude,
It sounds a little weird.
oh, Taylor.
Okay, it sounds a lot weird, I'll be
There's,
honest.
like, there's strip clubs in there and like champagne rooms. And like I had to like shut shit down. People are going in the champagne rooms. There's a mechanic in Minecraft where you can pretty much like jerk off another player. Nothing happens, but your hand is doing that. And they would just like, you know, little boys and girls go into the champagne rooms and jerk each other off. And I'm like, this whole plot's reset. Now you have a
Correction,
green
little
field.
boys and boys were going into the back room.
Who knows, right? I'm not resetting it because a little...
Did you just assume their Minecraft gender?
I did.
Dude, I didn't even assume their Minecraft age. I'm worried that one of them's 47 years old, right? That I don't know what's... That's why this shit was getting cleared out. And
It's a reasonable concern.
yeah, we...
It really is. I never thought about that before. Like, that is a reasonable thing to think about. Like, if you're a pedo or a creepy old man, and you know there's a place where you can go and just hang out with young kids, like just over voice chat or text chat, and you can pretend to be one of... No, not even voice chat, just text chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they could pretend to be one of the kids.
We had a
Well, you can
team-
sneak into one of the Discords.
Yeah, you just wouldn't out yourself, right? If you sound like I do.
You just
Hey,
pretend.
dudes, who wants some radical diamond swords? I got a job, so
So I can afford as many of them
Yeah.
as
I've
I
also
want.
got a car. So if you just give me your address, I'll be right over. And we
never
can play.
know.
I'll bring my computer. We'll play side by side. We'll have a jammy party. Come on.
What do you like to drink? Yeah.
We used to. I don't know. I look back and I can see why we did some fun shit. We used to make stripper poles and in factions where resources mattered, and people would like toss dollars at you, and then I don't know. We had people who were like misbehaving, so we'd build these like elaborate torturing things and slowly pour lava on their head. They'd be drinking potions, trying to stay alive, hoping I'd have a change of heart. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. You don't know.
That's the coolest thing you ever told me about your Minecraft server. I love it.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
I love that a paying customer can be waterboarded with magma at any time on the whim of an insane dictator. He's a crazy person. You know,
We
Bush
do
and
it
Obama
live
would
on
call you a
stream and
madman.
shit. Yeah.
That's what this. I feel like Raft would be a fun game to stream because, although I feel like I would have a hard time being entertaining because there are periods of when we play where I feel like no one said a word for an hour because everybody is grinding so goddamn hard. Like it's like I'm holding shift and sprinting. Like it's just
What does that do?
you know, running fast. I'm running fast.
Shit. Well, I know something new.
Don't you love when
That's
somebody
a common
like
mechanic in a lot of games. Shift is run.
every game except for Left 4 Dead 2?
I don't know why Left 4 Dead 2 shift is walk extra slow. I don't
Yeah.
even know why that functionality's there.
Yeah, why would you have a slow walk functionality in a
Slow
zombie
down.
game?
Yeah, at first I
Yeah.
thought it was crouch, but control is crouch, so it's just slow walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sprinting everywhere because I'm trying to do so many things at once. And another like quality of life thing that we built, a fucking anchor.
Oh yeah, we have that.
That permanent anchor was huge. Now every time you need to like stop or slow down, it's just here we go.
I taught Colin to work the anchor, so I'm usually in charge of like you sailing us to a spot where one of the boarding ramps is over the land, and then I just tell him to hit the anchor and he drops it. Oh, it's huge. You got
Yeah,
it. I think
a
it works better. I want to say the other anchor after you drop it, the boat shifts.
It's gone.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
and
gone.
it does keep turning. Yeah, because that when I was playing solo, I only played for a couple hours solo, trying to figure it out more.
funny
That
how
was
we
the
all kept
only
playing.
one I could afford, and I would keep like getting real close to the island and be like, "Aha!" and I'd drop it like when I saw the angled thing pointing towards it, and then I'd like, except I wasn't actually sprinting because I didn't know that's a functionality, and so I'm walking slowly up this ramp, and as I'm walking, the boat is drifting. sideways. I'm like, no, and by the time I get to the top, I can't jump over anymore. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to try again.
We're so good at that now. Because before it would be like, every time we get to an island, we got to build a new ramp because the old ramp is never pointed at the island. We're like, we're experts now. At this point, I know exactly when to drop anchor, and I've got the paddle, and Mitty will be up on his little like ramp that's already pre-built, and I'll glide him. It'll clip through the island. I'll clip him right through the island until he's on top, and I'm like, that good? He's like, yep, and stop. And I'm just like, I can wiggle the boat around and like move Mitty to each part of the island. The paddle's really fun. The paddle's the way to go.
We just have enough ramps that
doesn't matter.
We have two really well done like Y-shaped ramps. So you usually get something on it.
It took me a minute to realize that you could build the ramp up and then do a floorboard and then change the direction of the ramp.
Oh, yeah, we got that. So we have like a ramp up and then we go left and right off that ramp. So it's like, oh, now the island's wrong this way. Now that you enhance the ramp a couple of times and before long all your scenarios are covered.
Yep.
But it's not as pretty as your raft. You've got a nice thing going on there.
Well, thank you. We tried very hard and put many hours into making. Yeah, I would. I'm going to keep going. I'll probably build that one over it needs another 15 or 20 hours of work, I would say. But if either of you want to play after we get done here, we can start a whole new raft, or we could go to my world. Or
I might be down later tonight.
I'd be happy to like work on a boat for you guys. Like if one of you wants to host, and like I'll jump in there and work, and it'll be because like I said, we can't. Whoever hosts, it's their raft essentially.
Yeah,
I've been spending all day packing and getting shit together, and you never realize how many clothes you just don't wear.
Oh,
and I'm gonna I know you can donate stuff to Goodwill and get like a tax write-off and whatnot. How do you evaluate? I don't know the clothes you're giving. Like just say like $100 a bag if it's like a big trash bag full of good stuff. It's obviously worth more than that when it's bought, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've never tried to get a write-off for donating clothes. I really don't donate clothes either.
I do. Every time I move, I go through and like purge everything because it's just going to take up space and be more difficult. Like, I'm always very conservative with any kind of write-off stuff because
there's an IRS tax guide. When I did this, there would be a chart that I could refer to. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I
You're
figured
supposed to itemize everything. Like the right way to do it is really a pain in the ass.
Yeah, what I've done in the past is, Kitty would know someone who wanted the things, who might want some things, and I would just like to give them directly to them because I've usually got nice shit that I just don't wear anymore. But honestly, like, I'll just throw shit away. I've thrown away huge like outdoor trash bags of clothes before. That it's just like I'm never wearing this again, ever, and just throw it all away.
Oh shit! This is the value guide. I have been grossly selling myself short.
Oh really?
Well, yeah, good. There we go. Well, I guess a lot of money on the table the last couple of years. It's okay.
Me too, apparently. Can I pretend like I donated them to the garbage and retroactively? Go back. No,
you
it's not how taxes work.
You go to Goodwill.
It's interesting.
Here's what you do. You go to Goodwill, you give them like, whatever, 3 trash bags full of old clothes. And then they just say 3 bags received. It's really up to you to describe what was in those bags, Kyle.
Did we just find one of those loopholes in games that ruined them? Did we just figure out how to never pay taxes again? Let's get this book on the printer right now. All right. I think we just figured out how to never pay taxes again. How many garbage bags did you give Goodwill? 87,000.
Well, so they say how many bags are there, right? So they can be like, oh, there were 5 bags. Meanwhile, you gave them 5 comforters, but what you describe as in 5 garbage bags could be something different. I look at that chart, find one of those high, like, sweaters are $17. There were 92 sweaters in there.
there were 92 sweaters. You know what? I actually, weird hobby, but I used to collect wedding rings, and I was obsessed with it, so I donated a whole hefty flex bag of wedding rings to you. Remember that bag that weighed 9,200 pounds? Yeah, that was me.
The IRS can go back retroactively and make some changes and apply some penalties, but but I can't.
You can.
Come
I think
on.
you could do a 1040X and mend it.
Oh, well, it's not as funny if you.
But
Well, you can, Kyle. That's you fucking idiot.
the thing is, you would have a hard time. I don't know.
That's the
So the
1040
things
extreme. That's how Sean White does his taxes.
I'm trying to think. So historically, what pumps up your deductions to a level that makes it worth itemizing is owning a house. And then with that, you've got a ton of mortgage deduction, and you've got the state tax that you pay on the house and stuff like that. Really, if I'm guessing what your situation is, I don't see Kyle's tax returns. All he really has that's deductible is state income tax, and he might not make sense to itemize. So I don't know. Yeah.
In any case, yeah, if you guys want to play some Raft later, I'd definitely be down. I haven't played any today. I was sick today. I felt really bad. I ate something that didn't agree with me last night.
Did you vomit?
No, I wish I had vomited. I had like the worst indigestion and heartburn. I wish I had that bottle of Pepto with me so I could show you how much Pepto-Bismol I drank today. About 3/4 of a big bottle. It was absurd. Like I couldn't do anything. It was so awful.
What was it that you ate that you think did it to you?
Well, I had a double cheeseburger with bacon, a bowl of chili, a triple hash brown with jalapenos and cheese.
I know that seems like this kind of stuff that would give you food poisoning, though. You know?
It wasn't food poisoning. It wasn't. It was just like awful indigestion and heartburn, and I just wouldn't go away for 15 hours. It felt like it started last night, and it was like I feel better now, but it's kind of a new thing.
How's everybody's Christmas?
You know, I don't know, it's somehow related to it. I had my last two Christmas was good weather for paramotoring, and I didn't fly because I had a bad feeling. I'm sure everyone's had that, right? But I was like,
Intuition.
if I die today, it'll ruin Christmas for everyone forever. I probably should just not fly, and didn't.
Yeah.
And then today, I was like not far from that. Like I was launching with my acro wing, which usually means like we're gonna do some fucking wonky shit today. And I was like, all right, you're taking this wing, but you know what? You can still decide not to if you want. Like let's put that on the table. And I did, but I don't know. I just feeling a little less indestructible the past week or so.
Yeah,
Good thing to do.
I didn't do anything for Christmas, as I always say. Kitty cooked a ham, so ham sandwiches for all. But that's about it. You know, didn't do anything. I wasn't.
You still hang out with your family on like Christmas Eve and Christmas, right? You just don't do presents and such.
No.
Oh.
No.
Huh.
We did the small family thing this year. So we're in North Carolina, but we're from Jersey.
Told you I don't believe in it.
No, I thought when you said that before that you meant I don't believe in turning it into a consumerism nonsense thing, and I do agree with you to an extent.
No, this
I thought
is where
you
I
just
agree
meant
with
we all
Wings.
hang out.
No, this is where I agree with Wings of Redemption. I don't celebrate holidays. I don't celebrate them. I don't believe in it. Are you sure it's not because your family doesn't love you, Wings? No, that's not it. That's not it.
Wow.
That's brutal.
Colin,
That is not in the spirit of Christmas.
so Hope's big present isn't really. She got an iPad Pro with the pen and everything. She
Should have bought her a gun. That would have been so fucking funny.
She wanted it for taking notes in school and stuff. And
That
all
would
right,
be hilarious.
but yeah. Let me circle back to the gun thing. But Colin got some more fun things. He got this like I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like a big wheel, but instead of it's first of all, it's not plastic, it's metal, it's strong. I drive it sometimes, and you operate it by like wiggling the front wheel, and it's an indoor toy, so he's just like buzzing around the house all the time. He flipping loves it. He's watching television, but he doesn't sit on the couch. He sits on this thing, and I can grab it by the front and do bicep curls. So he's just like, you know, now every time I walk in the room, I'm like, Dad, do it again. And I try to balance him on the back two wheels, but he's like a human who moves and stuff, so it doesn't last long. And either he goes dropping down frontwards until I catch it and stop it, or he starts flipping over backwards until I catch it and stop that. And he just has a blast with that. His other neat toy that I can't stop playing with is a giant stress ball. It's just a stress ball, but it's about the size of a human head. And it's just fun to like smash it and pull it, and it's a cool thing. Yeah.
I didn't do that. Oh, I got quite a few things. Mostly clothes, which clothes were the lamest, shittiest thing as a kid. Now that's all I really want. Like I see it as like saving me a shopping trip, and I hate going clothes shopping, so it's awesome. But I got my grandma got my she always gets like my brothers and I like quite a few similar things, and she got us all a weighted blanket because she's like, now these things now I read in a magazine that these are the newest best kind of thing to make sure you get lots of good sleep. You know, you mentioned Taylor that you had trouble sleeping, this should help you a good bit. And I put it on, I'm like first of all, the folded container of this weighted blanket is like 25 pounds. It's a heavy ass blanket. And I was like, at first I'm like, this is really just silly. When am I going to use a weighted blanket? And then I was taking a nap after we were eating on her couch at my grandparents' house. And I'm like, I'm going to give it a go. I put it on. And I'm like, oh, this is good. This is a primo, nice blanket. It takes the heat away from you somehow, but it's still heavy enough that it makes you feel more warm. And so it's like, I was thinking like I'm already getting sweaty enough when I sleep because I need a blanket even when it's hot for some reason. And this might be way better. It's like heat wicking somehow. So thumbs up to grandma, good pick.
I like your grandma. I don't know her, but she seems caring.
She's a great woman. She like, oh my God, I should have documented the food again this year because she does the crab boil and all that for the initial day. We always go down like the day, either Thanksgiving or I'm sorry, not Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve or the day before. And she does that whole crab boil I've sent you guys pictures of. And then we had 15 pounds of cooked crab, still good to go. Like giant, enormous bags for the next day.
As Taylor would say, an appetizer.
Yeah, and like all the andouille sausage and all of the shrimp and everything. And the next day, instead of like doing any kind of warm up stuff, like my grandma gets up at like 6:45 in the morning and makes like probably 4 pounds of beef tenderloin, a ton of fried eggs, all these homemade biscuits and gravy. She fried shrimp.
How many people are we
She
talking
made
about?
mozzarella
It's like
sticks.
18 people or 6?
There were 7 people.
Jesus.
7
Dude.
people, and this is enough food. I shit you not. Like if you just took pictures of how much she buys, you'd be like, "Oh, are you having the Detroit Lions over?" Like because we could handle that at this. Like I need to document it better because and it's almost
You
like she's
should.
averse to leftovers in our situation, like every day. So like all the tenderloin she makes on Christmas Eve. Christmas morning, she's like, now I also got some chicken that I could fry up for you if you'd like. And it's like, well, you've got 15 pounds of crab from 2 days ago and 4 pounds of tenderloin and so much shit from yesterday. Like she's got to make more. I got to take home so much food. It's great. Oh, my grandparents are the best. They'd be my grandma would be too nice to be a guest on the show. My grandpa would be too offensive to be a guest on the show.
Challenge accepted.
Oh yeah, everyone with him would get demonetized within the first couple minutes. But yeah, I just Christmas is stressful, especially like when your parents are divorced and shit, because you gotta, unless you do it the way Kyle does, which is just kind of fuck it. But like I still kind of feel obligated to go to all the events and everything. But it's a good time of year.
Did you split your time with your
feeling happy.
girlfriend's family too? Is that like a thing that you're doing?
Oh yeah, like well, I mean not split time because there just wasn't enough time for that. But I did go and hang out with her family for Christmas for a little while.
Yeah, that
It's
was.
a lot to balance.
If you don't have kids, but when you have like the kids everyone wants to see, the ones under 3, then it becomes your job to like, oh my God, really? So what's the Christmas plan? Oh yeah, well, okay. So step 1, fuck our family. Today we'll be working for everyone else's family. We got to go here. We got to go there. We got to go to some other place.
Yep.
Like, oh.
That gets very exhausting very quickly. But I don't know. I like this time of year.
Yeah, it's nice. We just do a small thing. Jackie's a little sad. Her mom died just before Christmas last year. So that's on her mind. I've been thinking about her too. So
Yeah, it's a tough time of year when that. I want to make sure when I die like July 26th or something, so
That's
that
not
like the
bad.
next year they'll be like, when did he die again? So I'm not ruining anything.
It was that barbecue, Just kept eating them sausages. I don't know.
Yeah.
He just kept eating them salt. Yeah. Or I die on like a holoday that I hate.
When he was
That
so
would be
young,
good.
when he was young, he was good at getting them out of the shells, and in his old age, he just ate the crabs whole. It was sad.
Princess all he needed his daily dose of chitin, which is what their shells are made of. Yeah,
Right into the crab.
just right into the crab. Oh, I love crab. And for 2 days after I ate it, my shit smelled exactly like
God.
crab. And it wasn't.
I hate
and this
that.
smells like poop mixed with crab. It was like a reminder of the meal. Like it just smelled like crab. In the same way, have you ever eaten White Castle? Of course you have. I'm sure Crystal burgers are the same.
never had
Where
it.
when you take a shit after White Castle or Crystal, it does not smell like shit mixed with White Castle. It just smells like you walked into a White Castle. Which is just a bit of an indictment on the smell of White Castles. But either way.
Yeah.
So, time with Christmas. Not having a fun time with moving stuff. That's not fun. Trying to
No.
figure all that out.
Do you know the
I was-
date?
it's coming up very soon. When
You're
I'll
not
finally
telling the world,
close.
but it's
yeah. I want to like have it just be a surprise when I'm set up in my new thing for a show, like with the camera.
I see.
But I don't want to like make guarantees because I always wondered like. Because every real estate agent I talk to is like, oh, you're buying at a good time of year because people are usually very desperate to get rid of their homes because of the holidays and it's just very stressful for them. And I was like, yeah, well, this seems like a smart move. Now I understand why this is a stressful time to move because trying to organize movers, trying to get like utility people out, like it'll say on people's websites, yeah, we're open, just regular business days, 26th, 27th, and 28th or whatever, and they're not. It's fucking assholes with their families, getting a break from putting people like me's cable together. So. I don't know. It's a bit jumbled and up in the air and chaotic, but I'm really excited for it. And I'm going to save more money. I talked to one of my cousins. I was telling him I'm going to put a home gym in, and I was like, I'm going to buy these weights and bumper plates, and he was like, shut up. No, you're not. I bought a huge set of plates and weights a couple years ago. Never touched them. And so please go to our aunt's house, my mom's house, and pick it up. And it's all free. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. It's like $700 worth of weights I'm gonna get. So
That's
Well,
awesome.
Merry Christmas.
exciting. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie. So Jackie and I this year decided to sort of buy our own presents, right? She wanted a Harry Potter Lego set. I'm not sure if I talked about this on the
I
show
looked
yet.
at it. It's Chiz linked it to me the other day because he thought it was cool, I guess. And I was like, "You're joking, right?" I was like, that's Jackie's Christmas gift." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" That's her Christmas gift for herself. She's getting the Lego. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, it's the $400.
Yeah, it was like $580 on Amazon where I buy everything. So when she's like, that's way too much. I know we can get it but cheaper. I was like, you tell you what, you get the Lego set. I'll buy a paragliding thing for myself. And we're like, cool. We even high-fived on it. And then it's around like, I don't know, 3 or 4 p.m. on Christmas. And she's like, Woody, so here's the thing. I wanted another present too. And I'm like, but wait, we high-fived. And she's like, yeah, I already bought it. And I'm like, all right, what'd we do here? She bought, is it 800 or 400? I forget if each ticket was 400 or if the tickets combined were 400. But she bought tickets to a musical, Anastasia. And it was just like, all righty then. Usually we talk about that sort of thing. But so
That's
yes,
an
that was.
expensive show if it's $800.
I
for both.
think the
My goodness.
set in Anastasia is like next level, and it's raised the price of it. A lot of the musicals we go to, like when we see Shrek or Green Day or something, there's a Green Day musical. They're only like $40 a ticket. Like it's not that bad, but these were hundreds of dollars a ticket. The Hamilton was a lot too.
At some point I'm going to the symphony, the St. Louis Symphony here because my girl wanted to go to that. And I've never gone to one, and it seems like more fun than a concert because you just get to sit there, and people aren't like sweaty and bumping into you. I wouldn't think maybe like a big fat Alfred Hitchcock looking guy would be sweaty. But
Tell me what you think of it afterwards. I'm looking forward to it because if you had told me musical 10 years ago, I'd be like, oh my God, no, this sounds so lame. If you were to describe Hamilton, like, yes, it's a bunch of non-white people rapping about Alexander Hamilton. I'd be like, but okay, cultural appropriation, I guess. But I actually really liked it. I really like most of the musicals I go to. So maybe symphonies are cool too. But without having done it, I'm sticking my nose up in the air.
I feel like I'll be able to feel classier when I have gone to a symphony.
That doesn't work for me. Like when I go to I go to Hamilton, right? That's a fairly cultured thing to do, maybe. I don't know. But I am still just me.
Well, you ruined it. Now I'm not going to go. I'm going to ruin her present and redact those tickets.
When is it? Like this month?
Because of moving and getting stuff under control. Like I just told her we will go and we'll figure out a date that works for us. Because they do like shows and things where they'll like play the Cinderella soundtrack or something like that. Or Hamilton, I think, may have even been on the list. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it would make sense if it was a bunch of white people in an orchestra playing it. Kind of defeats the purpose of Hamilton, right?
It makes more sense, really.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, touche.
What, historically speaking, none of those people would be singing and dancing. I promise you. Unless they were being forced to.
I'm not racist. It's just a little hard to follow. It's like, I mean, it's like, did I tell you? I think I talked about this already. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, seriously?
They're all black.
They're not all black.
I can't tell one from the other.
No. Alexander Hamilton's like Mexican or Native American Indian or something. They look the same to me. The wife is white, I guess, and the kid is black, but like not Obama black, like
I am the captain now. Black.
Wesley Snipes black, or I am the captain now black, and I'm like we were late, so I didn't know that was the kid at first. I'm like, who's the retarded guy learning to play the piano? I don't know. I'll catch up. And then I'm like, oh, I see. That 40-year-old black man is a 6-year-old white child. Okay, now I know. It's that's Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Have you ever seen a musical, Kyle?
Yeah, I saw Mary Poppins.
Oh. Did you like it? Was it good?
I really liked it. Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, we talked about this before. There was a lot of acrobatics and stuff like that. They were running up the walls and dancing upside down, like really high off the stage. Like a fall would have been deadly. And, it was good. It was good.
Now.
You know what I'd like to see that actually, like, I think looks genuinely cool is like Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil, have you say it? Like, where it's genuine, like, super athletes doing feats of strength and stuff.
One
like
of
a
our
light
family
show. That's how I
friends,
imagine it.
His goal was to be a Cirque du Soleil performer. That's what he wanted to do. He went to circus school. He went to circus school. I was going to call it clown school, but I don't think it was that. It was circus school, and he.
You want to know how I got in Cirque du Soleil?
Dude, they have like.
I raped the director's daughter and tell people I tell them about it. That's what the Joker would say.
There's like progressive levels of schooling. You have to you go to one, and then it's harder to get into like the master's program. But Cirque du Soleil selects from that, or sometimes they select from smaller circuses. And he was working his way up the thing, and it was interesting because he had like injuries, and it's like. What do? Do you rest your injury like an amateur would, or do you play through the injury like a pro would?
You don't want to get booted because you're like, oh, my ankle. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, this guy's ankle is fine, and so goodbye.
Right?
Like,
yeah, so, he had all these things, and he's currently a professional skydiving instructor. It didn't make it all the way to Cirque du Soleil and took a turn, but interesting stuff. Ooh, Kyle has Chipotle.
Yeah. Oh, Chipotle. What'd you get?
I got chicken and steak burritos with queso.
Did you double it up, or did you go half and half?
Half and half.
Okay, so you're being, health conscious, weight conscious.
Oh no, I got a half steak and chicken burrito, and then a chicken burrito.
So you got two burritos?
Yeah, there's a fallback burrito.
There is a different kind of half and half that you hadn't considered, Taylor.
That's right.
It's just two burritos.
Are all the ingredients the same in both, or did you play with it a bit?
I played with it a bit. One burrito is black beans, white rice, cheese, and guac, and sour cream. That's the same for both. But one of them has fajita vegetables and the really hot salsa, and the first one has the green chili salsa. And
Fajita veggies changed the game at Chipotle. They're such a good addition. and it helps like fool you into thinking you're being healthier than you are, because those are really just vegetables doused in oil.
I'm not fooled.
Dude,
No.
I know what's about to happen.
I think my favorite part about fajitas is the obvious envy everyone else in the restaurant has as these like frying. It's still cooking on the way over. Yeah.
Fucking it's dangerous too. I want to see him drop it just once on someone. Just one time, fry some guy in the third row. It's just I really want to. Oh no! And he just drops that fucking platter of sizzling death on some. But hopefully it's a bad person.
Guy gets
somebody
like a branding that says Chili's on his cheekbone or something.
I remember I went to like Chevy's. I don't know if Chevy's is everywhere. It's like this Tex-Mex place. And as a little kid, I don't even know if they're around anymore, but I got fajitas and they brought it out and it was so hot. It was my first time seeing like the fajita plate, like the metal thing with the little tiny oven mitt over the end. And I was like, even at the age of like 7, I was like, who are they trying to fool? They wouldn't put something this hot in front of a child. And so then I took like plastic forks and straws from off the table and like started melting them on the black thing. And it started smelling like burnt plastic. And I realized not only have I ruined a good portion of my food here, but they'll absolutely put something this hot in front of a child. So there you go.
Yeah.
I haven't had dinner yet. I want it right now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm starving.
All right.
I'm going to eat this food. If you guys want to play Raft, let me know. I'm going to eat this food and probably start a game up with some people. Or if you guys want to host one and your timing works out, we can do that. Either way.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Bye, guys.